Today I'm going to show you how to make a few Halloween treats, which are some Jello Worms, some Halloween bark, and some really weird Halloween drink. I don't know what to quite call it yet. Okay, so what you're going to need for the bark are Oreos, or any related kind of cookie, some spooky confetti, which are just sprinkles, some M&M candy corns, just a heads up, they don't have any chocolate in them, that's kind of disappointing. Some candy corn, some candy melts. Make sure they're white. White works best. Or you can get like an orange or a yellow. That'd be cool too. Some stick pretzels. And a Ziploc bag, which I didn't end up needing, so you won't need that. And some wax paper. Oh, and lastly, a tray too. A cookie tray or anything flat will do. Okay, what you want to go ahead and do with that cookie tray, oh, this is one step that I did use for the jelly worms, I just confused the two. You're just going to put a bunch of Oreos in a Ziploc bag and then crunch up those Oreos as much as you can. That'll be the dirt for the jelly worms. I should have edited that part out, but I forgot. Whoops. Wax paper to the bottom of this cookie tray, so a few minutes later or so you're gonna see the wax paper automatically appear, but just go ahead and do that before you start adding all the cookies and the pretzels to the tray. Just go ahead and sort them out any way or any type of pattern you want, I guess. There is no specific way to layer this. Just go ahead and just move them all over the place. You can add as much as you want, or you can add less or more of one thing than the other. It's completely up to you. The next thing you need to go ahead and do is take those candy melts, and we're going to go ahead and melt them on a double boiler, I believe it's called. It's when you have a pan full of water, and then you just fill up a pan full of the candy melts and place it on top of the boiling water, and then it'll begin to melt the chocolate for you. Okay, and as soon as the chocolate's done, you're going to go ahead and just grab the pan and then just bring it to your little bunch of treats you have over here. Okay, and then you're just going to go ahead and pour the chocolate all over the trays. No specific places, just try to fit it all over the tray on top of all of the treats as much as you can. And then as soon as you have all your chocolate basically placed down on top of everything, just go ahead and spread it around. Try to do this a little gently, or else it will jumble up a lot of the treats, but that's not really a big problem, but I didn't like the way how it looked, which I ended up doing after all. Smart, huh? Oh my goodness, I'm not even kidding you. I'm at work right now, and I decided to come finish this video. I'm sitting in my car right now, and I am sweating. Okay, so once you have them all, basically the entire bottom layer covered chocolate, go ahead and just start adding sprinkles, and then add all the extras. You can add some extra Oreos, pretzels, M&Ms, more sprinkles, the candy corn. That's completely up to you. Just make it nice and pretty. Or it doesn't even have to be pretty. I didn't really think it came out all that pretty, but it did sure taste delicious. Okay, the next one we're going to do is just make this spooky soda treat, I guess. We'll go ahead and call that for now. What you're going to need is Sierra Mist or 7-Up, some ice, a cup, some nerds. You're mainly only going to use the green ones, and then some candy eyeballs. So what you want to go ahead and do first, or just add the green nerds to the bottom of the cup. Ice, and then your soda. Excuse me. And then lastly, you're going to add the candy. This candy, unfortunately, it doesn't float. It always just sinks straight to the bottom, so I'm always just trying to mess with it and bring it up to the ice so it can just stay afloat. But it never really did unless I kind of struggled a bit. And then I just added some extra nerds to the top to add a little more candy to it. And that's how it looks after you leave it for a few minutes. The green begins to dissolve from the candy, and it looks pretty neat. And then I basically do the same process just with a skull cup. These Jello Worms. So what you're gonna need for this is some Jello. I use the raspberry. You can also use the grape, but I just prefer this one so I can add color to it. Unflavored gelatin. You are gonna need 3 packets of it. Some green food coloring. A whisk, 3/4 cup of heavy whipping cream, I believe, a bowl, and some straws. Okay, these straws I honestly bought at the 99. A bunch came in them, and then they had the little ends where you just bend them, or yeah, let's just say that. That end right there, you're gonna go ahead and just band them up with a rubber band, and make sure the bottom end that I guess extends, that's the word. Go ahead and make sure that part is facing the bottom. So what you're going to go ahead and do first is open your Jello, the raspberry or whatever flavor you use. Go ahead and add that in there and add gelatin as well, all 3 packets. And then after you add that in there, you're going to go ahead and add 3/4 cup of water, boiling hot water. That was actually on the stove. That's why I did not show you guys quite yet, because it was still boiling on the stove right now. And once you add the water, you're going to go ahead and just start mixing it with your whisk. Whipping cream, and then you're going to go, after that you're going to add 13 to 15, let's go ahead and give it that estimate, of the green food coloring drops. Or if you don't like the way that looks, you can add more or less, and probably add some extra colors if you want. If that color is not what you're going for, you can add some extra yellow to brighten it up, or some more orange to change the color a bit more. But green normally, that did the trick for me. That was more than enough. Those few dots, I just added a little bit more green, I believe. And then once that's done, I'm going to go ahead and pour it into a clear container, just so it'll be easier to pour over the straws. And then it did have a lot of foam on the top after I poured it, so I just went ahead and just dumped that out in the sink. Okay, and then I just poured the entire thing into the straws. It's not going to stay in the straws exactly, it's gonna rise up to the cup as well. It's not just gonna stay in the straws. Just you thought you were possibly doing it wrong. No, that's the way it works. And then I just let that sit, and I kind of shook it a little bit just to make sure there weren't too many bubbles in the straws. And once that was done, I just let them chill in the fridge for about I left them in there for about 8 hours. I think it's less. I was just at work that day, so 8 hours did the trick for me. Okay, now when that was done, when I took the straws out of the cup, it was kind of messy and hard to do, so just a little precaution there for you. And then I'm going to go ahead and use the rolling pin, and I completely went out of focus here, I apologize, but you're just going to go ahead and roll out the worm. I know I pulled it out here, but once I started pulling out the worm on the other straws, they'd always kind of just rip. So I just recommend not ripping them out of the straw and just rolling them completely out of the straw. And then just place them on top of a wax paper tray, and then just leave them in the fridge so they don't melt or anything like that. Okay, now this next one is a pretty simple and fast, easy little treat to hand out or leave at party. There is some orange frosting, some Hershey Kisses, and some Oreos again. What I'm doing here is just placing a variety of Oreos, and then I'm just going to decorate each one pretty differently just to show you a variety of options that you can do. You can also add your own decorations or sprinkles or anything to it. These aren't just set in stone really. They're just ideas that popped in my head as I went along. Now the first one I did was went ahead and split open the Oreo. I just like filling in the Oreo with the orange frosting. I thought it just made it look better. So I'm just going to line the frosting all around the edge of the Oreo, and then I'm just going to close it back up. Oh, and if you don't get it yet, these are going to be like little witch hats. Maybe I should have said that in the beginning. Okay, and once I close the cookie, I'm just going to go ahead and put a dab of the frosting on the Hershey Kiss, and then I'm going to place it on top of the Oreo. Okay, the next one, I'm just going to go ahead and fast forward all this for you, is realign the next Oreo like I did to the previous one, and then grab another Hershey Kiss. And this one I believe I also aligned around the Hershey Kisses and made like a little bow in the front. I didn't just make it exactly end from end to end. I did extend it a little bit to add a little bit of a bow to it. And then this one I didn't add any center frosting. I just added a little round circle around the around the Hershey. And the next one I just left completely plain and just added a dab to the bottom of the Hershey and left the Hershey right on top. And those are the 4 little cute witch hats I could think of on the spot. And I hope you enjoyed the video, everybody. Comment if there's anything you want me to try do for you. I'll be more than happy to give it my best shot. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.